We are tracking new developments in President Trump's push to acquire Greenland ahead of this week's high-stakes World Economic Forum. In an interview just today, the president refusing to say if he will be using force to seize that country. This as Trump is vowing to slap an additional 10% tariff on 8 European countries who are allies of Greenland and who oppose Trump's bid for control. The president saying U.S. national security and the security of NATO is at stake. NewsNation's Robert Sherman is live in Switzerland for us on this. And Robert, we see this new message to Norway's prime minister. The president saying that he is tying his ambitions to control Greenland with his recent disappointment over not getting the Nobel Peace Prize. What exactly is the president saying on this?
Yeah, Natasha, I mean, we're watching this. The global landscape is getting shaken up day by day here, with this conversation revolving around Greenland quickly becoming the top topic here at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, with this new text message which has come out here that NewsNation has been able to acquire. Direct message to Norway's prime minister. Read this for you. In part, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America. That message to Norway's prime minister goes on to call for NATO to give control of Greenland to the United States, believing that it is critical for national security. Norway's prime minister confirming the validity of that text message, saying they still stand by Denmark and Greenland's right in order to determine what Greenland's status will be. You've seen some key moves made here in all of this, including 8 European countries moving a small number of troops over to Greenland. For example, you saw French and Danish jets training in the skies above Greenland. This was meant to be a mark of NATO solidarity, but the president didn't take very well to this and announced that there would be tariffs imposed on those countries if a deal is not struck that puts Greenland under United States control. He's not backing away from this. Today, some of America's allies, including British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, said this.
Alliances endure because they're built on respect and partnership, not pressure. That is why I said the use of tariffs against allies is completely wrong. And let's be clear, the security of Greenland matters. The High North will require greater attention, greater investment, and stronger collective defense.
Europe is holding a series of emergency meetings this week in order to chart out what their response and what their next course of action is going to be. Natasha.
And that text message, fascinating. And meanwhile, Robert, the president is set to speak in Switzerland, where you are, later this week. What kinds of options does Europe have, and what could happen over the coming days?
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to hear more and more that Switzerland, the World Economic Forum, I mean, this is being viewed as a key moment for diplomacy and dialogue, with many of these heads of state talking about how they want to have conversations with President Trump and bring the temperature down. Now, you've heard some European nations come out and say there are countermeasures to the tariffs that they're prepared to take, which would hit the United States economically and potentially U.S. consumers as well. But then you've also heard some allies, such as Giorgia Meloni from Italy, who has said that she views all of this as a big misunderstanding and that there needs to be more dialogue, more conversations in order to move past this point. That being said, Natasha, Switzerland is quickly becoming a key pivotal moment and potential place for dialogue between Europe and the United States. Natasha.
Robert Sherman live on the ground in Switzerland, monitoring this for us. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.